Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan, and I have no idea how on a day that doesn't have a lot of news coming out, I end up with 27 tabs opened. Unbelievable. I'm going to get through it quickly and hopefully leave you with some information that's valuable. The first is the hack that was originally reported back in July, and we learned that it was confirmed on Wednesday, the 20th. Now, this is a password hack along with some personal information belonging to 2.2 million users. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because one of the two places that were hacked with information that showed up on the dark web is GateHub. GateHub has a lot of XRP holders that are using this as a wallet. And they got the registered email addresses, the passwords, and the two-factor authentication keys. So GateHub did notify the users and have generated new encryption keys, but it is something I think that you probably should be aware of and double check. And you can do that in two different places. The Firefox Monitor is really kind of handy. You can put your email address in here and then check for the breaches. I did, and from 2013 to today, I have been breached 11 times. GateHub, Cafe Press, Evite, MySpace. Yeah, don't laugh. I must have had an account at some point. It was breached in 2016. Tumblr, LinkedIn, Adobe, just to name a few. But the person who started the website called Pwned, and this is a term that's used in the gaming industry. It's slang meaning to conquer or to gain ownership, implying total domination or humiliation of a rival. This website was launched in 2013 by the Australian web security expert Troy Hunt, and his Pwned site is here. I'm going to put a link to it in the description below. It is even more accurate, I do believe, because when I put my information of email addresses that I use in this, there were 14 different breaches that came up. So I think it's quite important for you to take a look. You can see, yeah, these are all of mine that have been, have used my email address and have been breached in terms of their security. Okay, I think a lot of you know that I am a contributor, just one of many, on the website called On the Chain. And in doing so, I do create content that appears on this channel that does not appear on my Crypto Eddie channel. And I did something before I left. You know, I was out of town for 3.5 days. I was doing an English immersion camp for high school kids, and I got this video done right at the last moment before I took off, and I did it with Eagle, who is a contributor on this site too. And we talked about the AMA that I did with both Sunny Liu of VeChain and Chris Wang of BitTrue. And the reason why is because Eagle is really one that is doing great research and superb work when it comes to reporting about VeChain. I have all I can handle with the focus on XRP. And so I just wanted to highlight that should you be a person who's following the VeChain project, Eagle is one that I'm going to recommend that you watch and listen to. He's on Twitter, he has his own channel, and you'll find content on the OTC as well. And speaking of Sunny Liu, he has a big AMA, and there was a big time crunch when I spoke to him. We only had 1 hour because he was catching a flight. So there are going to be some additional questions that weren't asked in the AMA that I had with him in about, what, 3 hours? Yeah, this is happening in 3 hours? 2 hours. Okay, it's going to be live in 2 hours. So if you go to the VeChain website, which is the VeChain Foundation, on YouTube, you'll be able to hear his AMA. And I think this one is going to be very good. I believe he is going to ask or answer a lot of the questions that the VeChain community has been asking. Okay, keeping it going here, this is interesting. So XRP has gained momentum amongst both financial institutions and individual users. This is really, you know, when I did that AMA with both Kurswang and Sunny Liu, they really drove home for me the importance of mass adoption. I think of all the messages and information that I learned from that, it was that we really need to work as a complete ecosphere to get this mass adoption to a point where we have critical mass. And this is an example of Grayscale, which is going to launch the first in the United States, a diversified crypto fund for public trading. So the Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund, DLC, is going to have a basket of currencies: BTC, Ethereum, XRP, BCH, and Litecoin. It will trade over the counter, and the symbol is GDLCF. This is actually the fourth publicly traded investment product by Grayscale, but because this is a little bit unique in that it's going to be publicly traded and it is a basket of currencies, it's being sold as a more balanced or modern portfolio, and it's available to all investors with access to U.S. securities. Hammertoe, which is Matt Hamilton, was quick to find that in their new report that they put out, it's in, and I'm going to put a link to it in the description below, that they did mix up a little bit between the confusion of the XRP ledger and RippleNet. So, of course, the former is an open source, permissionless, decentralized blockchain, and the latter, RippleNet, being a private customer network for the Ripple clients. So he's good at catching those errors. Matt is just very detailed when it comes to that part of the technology. So here it is, and it was just updated November 2019. It's a good introduction despite some of the inaccuracies that Matt caught. It is 15 pages long, and yeah, this is the type of information that when you do your own research, it's very important to digest this. So I will put a link to it in the description below. And it was on Medium on Friday that they announced this basket of digital currencies through a singular investment. This is mass adoption, everybody. This is what you see when the cryptocurrency space is being adopted by just not the institutional investors, but the retail investors out there as well. And here is their website that talks about their digital large cap fund in terms of details. I'm going to put a link there because, again, this is all the nuts and bolts to really understand the outstanding shares and what the manager's fee is. It happens to be 3%. And yeah, everything you need to know to be an expert on this fund. When you go to the OTC market, it traded for the first time on Friday. And I believe, from what I can tell here, that the open price was $8.10, had a daily range of $6 to $8.10. It had very small volume, so it's just going to be getting off the ground. And you can see the outstanding shares and the different trades and timestamps associated with that. And it looks to me like the minimum amount you can purchase are in bundles of 100. So I will, again, also put the link in the comments section below. All right, I just received, right before I went to video this, I just checked my messages, and somebody asked me, "Hi Eddie, did you read Reality Check, the Bionic XRP by Galgitron?" Well, I sure did. And the question here is, can you comment on it in the up and coming video? I mean, I do not know much about him, but he has like a ton of facts, and I'm trying to sift through it. Thanks. And I answered, "Funny you ask. This was already in my video, which I will upload in a moment. I totally totally respect Galgitron. And yes, I was going to talk about this. This is, wow, I think Galgitron, this is your best ever. I think so. And I don't want to spoon feed everybody because I really feel it's important to do your own research. This is a blog that is worth your time. I will just tell you that much. And when you read it, you may feel like I did, which is how you feel when you go into a plunge cold bath. These baths are very common in Japan. They're just freezing, and they're used after you have spent some time in a very, very hot sauna. So what can I tell you? It's shocking. So you're going to have a few moments of shock when you read Galgitron's blog. But after being in a hot sauna, you really want to jump into that cold bath. Because it feels great, even though it does shock your system. So I just am thinking that if you want to take the plunge, then definitely read Galgitron's blog. It just came out on the 23rd, which was Saturday. And yeah, I just don't know what to say except that yeah, it's a must read. So we talk about taking the plunge. Well, the getting into the fluff. The snow monkeys of Japan don't do the cold plunge baths, but they do the hot springs. And there are two places in Japan that you can see the snow monkeys. One is in Nagano, which is a day trip from Tokyo, or you can also go to Hokkaido and find them there. And by the way, yes, this is a real picture. I think it took place in 2014, if my memory serves me right. It's by a wildlife photographer from the Netherlands, and his smartphone was stolen by this monkey when he was taking pictures. And of course, you can imagine this picture has gone viral, but I still laugh every time I see it. All right, so we're going to talk about cleaning not only the body, but we're going to talk about cleaning the mind. Let me introduce to you Shokei Matsumoto. He is a monk that actually entered the temple in Tokyo after he received his MBA. And why I want to point this out is because there's a little lesson in what he is bringing us. So the morning starts very early for monks, like 5:45, they begin their cleaning routine. And in Japan, the art of cleaning is taken really to a different level. It is, well, let me just explain it this way. For school children, exams typically don't start until grade 4. So a little after 10 years old, but they start cleaning. Yeah, and they start very young. These kids are in kindergarten, and that cleaning continues through grade school, through junior high, and through high school. They clean the schools, and I'm not talking just the floors. They do the toilets too. This is a philosophy in Japan that is really driven home, that it teaches responsibility, and it is one of the all important educational attributes that you get from school. So it might be a little different than the country you are used to. When I first saw it, I was a little bit taken aback, but as I have now lived in Japan for many years, I think that this is actually quite a good routine. And there is a book, and it's the philosophy of your clean space and how you can clean your mind, which will follow by the monk Shokei Matsumoto. And it's called A Monk's Guide to a Clean House and Mind. And you can listen to the intro at no charge from the Amazon link, and you can also get it in a Kindle format or in the paperback version as well. And I'm telling you, it just might enlighten you when it comes to the mundane routine of cleaning. There is a Grammy-winning award musician called Dana Long, and he has an exquisite interview on YouTube with the monk. And also, we are lucky that the Japan Society, I don't need to see that one anymore. The Japan Society brought him to New York this year in March, and we are lucky to have this hour-long presentation where you'll learn a lot about this daily chore, and it just might change your life. So enjoy. The links will be in the description below. Do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.